10 rarest and weirdest Japanese pickups you never knew about. Japan has built some of the most creative vehicles in automotive history, but their pickup trucks? That's a whole different level of strange. From tiny kei trucks that look like toys to futuristic concepts that never made it past the prototype stage, Japan's pickup scene has seen it all. Some were brilliant, others completely bizarre. So let's dive into 10 of the rarest and weirdest Japanese pickups you've probably never even heard of. 10. Subaru BRAT, 1978 to 1994. The Subaru BRAT, short for Bi-Drive Recreational All-Terrain Transporter. Only the Japanese could come up with a name that long for a tiny pickup. At first glance, it looks like someone glued a truck bed onto a compact car, and that's basically what Subaru did. Under the hood, it had a 1.6 or 1.8-liter flat-4 engine with all-wheel drive, which made it surprisingly capable off-road. But what really made the BRAT weird were the rear-facing jump seats bolted into the truck bed. Yep, Subaru literally put plastic seats in the back, complete with seatbelts. Why? To avoid U.S. import tariffs on pickup trucks. By adding seats, they classified it as a passenger vehicle. Genius and slightly insane. Drivers loved the BRAT for its quirky charm and go-anywhere attitude, but it was far from practical. The bed was small, the seats were exposed to the elements, and rust attacked these things like crazy. Still, it built a cult following. Even today, seeing a clean BRAT on the road feels like spotting a unicorn. It wasn't the best pickup, but it might have been the most fun, and it set the tone for Japan's strange but lovable approach to pickup design. 9. Mazda Rotary Pickup, EREPU, 1974 to 1977. Now here's something truly wild. The Mazda Rotary Pickup, or REPU for short. Yes, Mazda actually made a pickup powered by a rotary engine. Because of course they did. Built during the mid-1970s, the Repu was based on Mazda's B-Series truck, but packed the same 13B rotary engine found in their RX cars. That meant smooth revs, a 7,000 RPM redline, and an exhaust note that sounded more like a sports car than a work truck. Imagine hauling lumber while your engine screams like an RX-7. That's the REPU experience. But here's the catch. It wasn't exactly a workhorse. Torque was minimal, fuel economy was terrible, and the rotary demanded frequent maintenance. Not exactly what most pickup buyers were looking for. Still, Mazda didn't care. They built it to prove that the rotary could do anything. Fewer than 15,000 were made and only sold in North America, making it one of the rarest JDM-based pickups ever exported. And thanks to emissions rules and the fuel crisis, production ended just 3 years later. Today, finding a clean REPU is nearly impossible. But when you do, it's like discovering a piece of Japan's automotive rebellion. A time when Mazda thought, why not make a truck that revs like a race car? 8 Datsun 1200 Ute, 1971 to 1978. This little guy, where the Datsun 1200 Ute, might look like a grocery getter with a flatbed, but it's one of the most charming and overlooked Japanese pickups ever made. While the rest of the world got sedans and coupes, Australia and a few Asian markets got this tiny rear-wheel drive workhorse. Under the hood sat a humble 1.2-liter A12 four-cylinder engine, pushing out just around 68 horsepower. Not exactly earth-shattering, but the Ute's real trick was its simplicity. Lightweight body, bulletproof mechanics, and parts shared with the Datsun Sunny meant it could take abuse and keep going, whether you were a delivery driver or just some kid turning it into a burnout machine. What made it weird, though, was how much fun it was to drive. The short wheelbase, manual gearbox, and nimble steering made it feel more like a sports coupe than a pickup. People started tuning them, dropping in larger engines, and suddenly this humble utility truck was running circles around real sports cars at local meets. It was Japan's answer to the mini pickup boom. Simple, tough, and oddly lovable. And while it never gained huge fame outside select regions, the few that survive today are prized by collectors for their pure mechanical charm. The Datsun 1200 Ute is proof that even the smallest, slowest trucks can leave a big impression, especially when they've got that unmistakable mix of reliability and personality only old-school Nissan could deliver. 7. Toyota Stout 1900, 1963 to 1978. Before the Hilux became Toyota's global pickup icon, there was the Toyota Stout 1900, a quirky, no-nonsense work truck that quietly laid the foundation for everything that came after. It wasn't fast, it wasn't flashy, and it certainly wasn't comfortable, but it was built like a tank, and had enough odd charm to make you smile every time you saw one. The Stout 1900 came with a 1.9-liter inline-4 that made around 85 horsepower. Modest even for the 60s, but it could haul serious weight and keep running in brutal conditions. Farmers, shop owners, and delivery drivers loved it because it just wouldn't quit. You could overload it, drive it up a muddy hill, and it would still come back asking for more. Styling-wise, it had that distinctive boxy Japanese look with round headlights and a big chrome grille that made it look like a cheerful robot. Inside, it was pure utility. Metal dashboard, thin steering wheel, and not much else. Air conditioning? Forget it. Comfort, optional, but reliability, guaranteed. What makes the Stout weird today is how rare it's become. Most were worked to death and never preserved. Finding one in decent shape now is like spotting a unicorn, especially outside Japan. Enthusiasts who do restore them often keep the original patina, celebrating its scars as proof of a hard-working life. It's not a truck you buy to show off. It's one you admire for what it represents. Toyota's early promise of durability and dependability. A weird, boxy legend that deserves far more credit than it gets. 6. Honda Acty Attack, 1990 to 1999. Now we move from the mass-produced oddity of the BRAT to a hyper-specialized machine that was built for the toughest terrain on Earth, the Honda Acty Attack. This isn't just another tiny cab-over K-truck. This is the true NSX of the farm, named for its capability to attack the most challenging agricultural conditions and famously lacking in high-speed capability. Its looks are entirely unassuming, a simple, boxy, white or blue microtruck. But its engineering is pure, over-the-top Honda genius. The reason this vehicle is so rare and weird is because it was designed specifically for Japanese farmers, receiving a unique factory-installed differential lock in ultra-low gears, features that were unheard of in vehicles this size in the 90s, especially in the West. The complexity of this system meant it was expensive to produce and maintain, but its off-road dominance was absolute. The Attack trim was essentially a military-grade vehicle, disguised as a vehicle for hauling vegetables, built to traverse thick mud, steep slopes, and rocky trails where heavier 4x4s would struggle or tip over. The genius of the Acty platform lies in its mid-engine, rear-wheel drive layout, which placed the small engine directly beneath the bed, ensuring perfect 50-50 weight distribution and superb balance, even when climbing slick, muddy hills. This balance is what gave it that go-kart precision and why owners rave about its handling, despite its utilitarian purpose. The fact that the locking differential only engages in the ultra-low gears proves this machine was built for low-speed, high-torque crawling, not high-speed performance. The heart of this little beast was the durable E07A inline 3-cylinder engine, displacing 0 liters, 660 cubic centimeters. This minuscule but sturdy engine produced 38 horsepower and 54 newton-meters of torque in its early post-1990 form. The Acty Attack achieved its legendary status through its transmission. It came standard with a 4-speed manual gearbox paired with a special sub-transmission that gave it ultra-low forward and reverse gears. These extra-low ratios, combined with the locking rear differential, allowed the driver to maintain incredibly slow, controlled movement over boulders, through thick mud, or up steep, low-traction slopes, situations where traditional 4x4s would simply spin their tires. This dedication to off-road utility at the micro level is what makes it so unique. The truck's curb weight was just 670 kilograms. The Acty Attack, particularly the HA44WD version, required an intense level of engineering dedication for such a small market segment, proving Honda's willingness to over-engineer their utility line. That specialized off-road K-truck was unique. Now let's look at the 3-row machine that baffled buyers. 5. Mazda Proceed Marvy, 1991 to 1999. The Mazda Proceed Marvy is one of those pickups that makes you pause and ask, what exactly were they going for here? It wasn't just a truck. It wasn't really an SUV either. It was something awkwardly in between, and that's what makes it fascinating. Essentially, Mazda took their B-Series pickup and decided to stretch it into a long-wheelbase, 3-row vehicle. Yep, a pickup with 3 rows of seats. It had 4 doors, a covered rear section, and the unmistakable boxy 90s charm that makes you nostalgic and confused at the same time. Under the hood, you could get either a 2.6-liter 4-cylinder or a 3-liter V6. Power was modest, around 120 to 140 horsepower, but it was sturdy enough to haul people and light cargo. What made the Proceed Marvy stand out was its interior. It had comfortable seating for up to 7 passengers, with the rearmost seats tucked under a long canopy that made it feel like an SUV from another dimension. The problem? Nobody really knew who it was for. Pickup fans thought it was too soft. SUV buyers thought it was too rugged. Mazda marketed it as a lifestyle vehicle, but it ended up being a solution to a question nobody asked. Still, the Proceed Marvy has gained a quiet cult following. Off-road enthusiasts appreciate its simple four-wheel drive system, and JDM collectors love its oddball status. You won't find many on the road today. Most were sold in Japan and a few Asian markets, but spotting one feels like seeing a unicorn with a tailgate. The Proceed Marvy was Mazda experimenting, maybe overthinking, but undeniably creating something unique. And speaking of unique, the next one takes pickup to a whole new level. Literally. 4. Isuzu Fargo Philly Pickup, 1993 to 1997. Now this one's a head-scratcher, the Isuzu Fargo Philly Pickup. Imagine if someone took a family van and thought, you know what this needs? A truck bed. That's basically what Isuzu did. The Fargo Philly started life as a van, meant for comfort and practicality. But in true 90s Japanese fashion, Isuzu decided to experiment. They chopped off the rear cabin and replaced it with a small open cargo bed, turning a people mover into one of the weirdest utility vehicles Japan ever built. It looked part minivan, part pickup, and part science project. Power came from a modest 2.0-liter or 2.4-liter inline-4 engine, producing around 110 to 130 horsepower. It wasn't fast, but it didn't need to be. The focus was on utility, whether that meant carrying tools, plants, or just confusing everyone at the parking lot. Inside, it kept most of the Fargo's van-like comfort, a tall driving position, plush seats, and even optional air conditioning. But when you looked in the rear-view mirror and saw a truck bed instead of passengers, it was always a surprise. It wasn't a huge success. Not many people wanted a half-van, half-pickup hybrid, but the few who owned one swore by its practicality. It could haul small loads while offering the comfort of a daily driver. Today, it's almost impossible to find even in Japan. The Isuzu Fargo Philly Pickup was quirky, experimental, and strangely lovable. It proved that Japanese automakers weren't afraid to blur the lines between practicality and pure weirdness. And if you think this was odd, wait until you see what Nissan came up with next. A compact truck that looks normal until you realize what it's hiding under the hood. 3. Nissan Rasheen Pickup, 1998 to 2000. Now here's one that makes you look twice. The Nissan Rasheen Pickup. Most people know the Rasheen as a quirky little SUV, kind of a mix between a hatchback and a mini off-roader. But in the late 90s, Nissan decided to get creative. They teamed up with a small Japanese coach builder to turn this cute crossover into an even cuter pickup. The result was surprisingly cool. The Rasheen Pickup kept the boxy charm of the original SUV, but ditched the rear roof and seats for a short, flat truck bed. It looked like something you'd see in a slice-of-life anime, compact, stylish, and just weird enough to make sense. Under the hood, it had a 1.5-liter or 1.8-liter engine paired with Nissan's all-wheel drive system. That meant it wasn't just a pretty face, it could actually handle dirt trails, farm roads, and city errands with ease. Despite its small size, it had a rugged personality, especially with its high ground clearance and chunky tires. Inside, it was pure 90s nostalgia. Simple dashboard layout, soft fabric seats, and those iconic pull-out cup holders that every Japanese car seemed to have. It wasn't luxurious, but it had charm. It felt friendly, approachable, and oddly capable for something that looked like a toy. Only a handful of these conversions were ever built, making it one of the rarest small pickups in Japan. Even hardcore Nissan collectors sometimes forget it exists. The Nissan Rasheen Pickup may not have had the muscle of a full-size truck, but it made up for it with personality. It's proof that sometimes the weirdest ideas end up being the most memorable. Enjoying these forgotten oddballs? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because the next ones get even stranger, including one pickup that thought it was a sports car. 2. Subaru Brumby Sports Edition, 1983 to 1987. Now this one's a proper curveball. The Subaru Brumby Sports Edition, also known as the BRAT, bi-drive recreational all-terrain transporter in some markets. Most people remember it as that little pickup with seats bolted in the bed, but the Sports Edition took the weirdness up a notch. Subaru designed the Brumby as a compact utility vehicle for people who wanted a truck but didn't need a full-size one. It came with Subaru's classic boxer engine and the brand's symmetrical all-wheel drive, something unheard of in pickups back then. The sports edition added stripes, alloy wheels, and a few cosmetic tweaks that made it look almost like a rally car with a cargo bed. Under the hood, it packed a 1.8-liter flat-four engine, producing around 73 horsepower. Not exactly thrilling numbers, but thanks to its lightweight body and short gearing, it felt sprightly and fun to drive. You could throw it around corners, take it off-road, or even just cruise through town with that distinct Subaru burble from the exhaust. But what really made it stand out were those infamous rear-facing jump seats in the bed, complete with seatbelts and handles. Subaru added them to dodge import tariffs on light trucks in the US, reclassifying it as a passenger car. It was clever, hilarious, and a little dangerous, but it worked. Today, finding a clean Subaru Brumby Sports Edition is nearly impossible. Most rusted away or were worked to death. The ones that survived, they've become collector gold. It's one of those rare machines that perfectly captures Japan's mix of practicality and eccentricity. A pickup that made people smile, even when they didn't understand it. And if you think that's odd, wait till you see the last one. A pickup that might be the most confusing thing Japan ever built. 1. Daihatsu Midget II, 1996 to 2001. And finally, we end with the king of tiny utility and pure eccentricity, the Daihatsu Midget II. This miniature truck is literally the smallest, most unique vehicle ever classified as a pickup in Japan, earning global fame by being the micro-machine you could race against supercars in the Gran Turismo video games. Daihatsu revived the Midget name in the 90s, aiming to create the ultimate nimble urban delivery vehicle, resulting in a car so small it makes a smart car look like a full-size SUV. The most shocking feature? The original B-type model came strictly as a single-seater, with the driver's seat centrally placed because there simply wasn't room for anything else. This design choice, along with its sheer size, gives it a unique and absolutely charming awkwardness that perfectly captures the weird JDM spirit. The designers prioritized an incredibly tight turning radius and maximum utilization of its footprint, leading to a hilarious vehicle that drives like a tiny light shopping cart with an engine in the best possible way. The distinctive look, dominated by the huge body-colored spare tire bolted directly onto its nose, ensures that even today, when you spot a Midget II, you stop and stare. It has truly earned its status as a cult icon. The heart of this micro truck was a humble 659 cubic centimeters inline three-cylinder engine, known internally as the EFCK or later EFSE. This minuscule but sturdy engine was specifically detuned to produce maximum city torque, resulting in an output of just 31 to 33 horsepower and a negligible 37 pound-feet of torque. The Midget II was built on a simple steel monocoque structure with a light curb weight of only 570 kilograms. Power went to the rear wheels through either a 4-speed manual or 3-speed automatic transmission, both of which were geared as short as physically possible. First gear was notoriously short, spent almost instantly, forcing the driver to aggressively row through the tiny gearbox just to accelerate to the city speed limit. This short gearing was essential for allowing the tiny engine to move a full 350 kilogram payload. The Midget II wasn't fast, topping out around 68 miles per hour, but its super light, non-power steering, and incredible agility made 40 miles per hour feel like a genuine street race. Its enduring popularity is based entirely on its quirky looks, affordability, and the sheer fun of driving a vehicle designed purely for ultra-compact utilitarian needs, all while providing the unexpected convenience of modern air conditioning and a tiny pickup bed. And that wraps up our look at 10 of the rarest and weirdest Japanese pickups you never knew about. If this ride through Japan's strangest truck history got your heart racing, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content on hidden speed machines.